Good morning. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. We're back with another video. Let's get into it. I loaded up the face frame, the skins, and the filler board that we made for the red oak cabinets into the van. I'm going to take that over to the other facility right away here so it can get, part of it can get sprayed, part of it can get stained. And then Jacob went to go spray, prime and spray at the kitchen he taped yesterday. Brandon and Carl went to go tear out a kitchen. And then these cabinets will go into that kitchen. So when I get back, there's 3 cabinets over there I need to make. They're sitting over here. I organized them last night, and I did finish the face frames last night. That's what I loaded this morning. So I need to Craig jig all these cabinets, screw them all together, glue them all. And then the face frames are for these 3. So we'll hold off on that. And then I need to start putting on the side panels, double checking, finish that weird lower custom cabinet out, and just keep trucking on these cabinets. We also need to cut shelves, measure for doors. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So I need to start working on these because we're starting to tear these out. So I'm going to go to the other facility, come back, do those 3 cabinets, work on these cabinets. Just got back to the shop from unloading that van with the face frames, the side panels, and that filler board. So now I'm getting ready to put those 3 cabinets together. I have our 1 1/4 screws, glue, impact. Need to get my bit for the impact, but first I'm going to start Craig jigging these cabinet pieces right here. We have our back piece right here, which does not need any Craigs. And then we have our 2 sides and our floor, which do need Craig jigged, obviously. Or pocket holes. I don't know, I just call them Craigs. The headquarters of Craig is actually in the town we are located in, which is phenomenal. And I have this set up for 1/2 material. And then I'm going to put 5 total. Evenly spaced. Just like that. 5's probably overkill, quite honestly. 4 would be perfect, but I'd rather have 1 extra than 1 not enough. So that is why I do 5. The face frames are all glued, dadoed, and screwed. So again, 5 is probably overkill, but I like it. Let's grab our bit right up here for our screws. We're going to be using those 1 1/4 drywall screws again. I did not have time. Well, I definitely had time. There's always time, but I did not go pick up those deck screws. But these worked super great. The no countersinking worked super great. So that's what we're going to keep doing. I do think the deck screws with the Torx bit would be a little bit better, but these worked phenomenal. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put ample amounts of glue. And then I'm going to go grab my back piece. There's only 3 cabinets, so this shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Grab this. We changed out the bit for our CNC that cuts our dados. So these dados look really good. And they're super tight, which I love. They need to be super tight, quite honestly. They also look a lot better. Let's get one right here. Make sure this is running good. It is. Coming out flush, so that's always awesome. Go, and that just sits in there just like that, and it looks really good. It's just slightly recessed or flush, which it needs to be. Otherwise, the contact cement we use for the side panels will not work as well, and it needs to work really well. I think that'll be fine. I put an extra screw up there just to be safe. Then we pretty much rinse and repeat it here. We just put a lot of glue. I don't like all those fuzzies in there though. Sometimes the vacuum doesn't quite suck all of those out. Just fine. Just gonna take all those out just like that. There we go. Go back at it with the glue. Put a lot. Then the tight dados are super important. Dados just allow, well, there's a few things that they do really. They give the board a place to lock into the pieces. It's a great place for glue. The dado is essentially a channel, and it gives 3 areas of surface contact instead of just 1. And they're tight, so it locks that board in there, and then when the glue dries, it just holds it. We also screw everything. It really holds the boards together until the glue is dry, but it also helps once the glue is dried as well. So there we go. It's kind of what our dados look like right there, how the boards lock into each other. And there's glue in there. There's the 3 points of contact with the glue and the screws. It makes a super strong joint. So we love that. Next thing we need to do is grab our floor and one of our top boards here. So CNC will cut out 3 boards. The wider one is our toe kick. Well, in this case, the wider one is our toe kick. And then these 2 boards right here are for the top. We need to grab one of those to Craig jig because it's for the front. That's what the top of the face frame connects to. I'm gonna grab the floor. This side looks good. When I do on our spacing on the floors, or on the upper where there's a floor and a top or a ceiling, I go 2.5 from the side. So that way, when I'm going to screw in from the bottom, my drill or my impact can fit. If you go too close to the side, it gets too close to the dado and the face frame and then the toe kick, and the drill doesn't always like to go in there straight. And they have to go in there straight. Otherwise, you run the risk of blowing the face frame out, which is not a good thing. See if I can't get it over. There we go. Evenly spaced. Love that. And then it's the same thing for this. These boards on our top, I'll show you here in a minute, but they help square the cabinet up. Sometimes, like the only cabinets that we make that do not have these boards are the sink cabinets, because they get in the way when the countertop people put the sink in. So they have to cut them out, and it's just a waste of time for everybody. So, and they're super hard to get out once they're glued, and those boards we nail. Again, I'll show you why we nail those instead of screw those in a minute. But just a huge waste of time for everybody. So we use these plastic corner pieces. That's the only cabinet we do that with. A lot of manufacturers use those plastic corner clips for all of their cabinets, and they don't really do anything, quite honestly. We use those long boards because they really help square the cabinet up. it gives a really nice area to screw the face frame into. So it's always nice. Oh, I think these are gonna fight me a little bit. When the dados are tight, sometimes they just like to fight, but that's okay. Grab our mallet and just have to be very careful here. Very careful. I'm going to attempt to get one side in here, like this. Perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll work on the other side, because when the dados are so tight, you can be fighting yourself, and that is not something we want. There we go. These screws aren't sinking that well. That one did. That one did really good. Okay, so there we go. Making sure my part right there and my part right there are even, because if they're not, when you put the face frame on, the face frame won't sit evenly, and that is a huge issue. Then you have gaps, nothing's tight, the depth doesn't measure out correctly. We can't have that. There we go. And another one. Like DJ Khaled said, another one. Okay, let's attempt to get our back in. There we go. Love that. Okay. Now, this cabinet for the most part is put together. That's how the cabinet shell looks. We have our bottom, our back, our sides. Now we need to put on our top boards. The one board we do not put on until the face frame is on is this toe kick board, because otherwise when you go to screw the face frame on down here, you're unable, the toe kick board goes right here, you're unable to use those Craigs. So this toe kick board goes on after the face frame. Let's go grab the brad nailer. I'll explain why we do not screw in those top boards on our 1/2 inch material cabinets. We do make 3/4 of an inch material cabinets, and on those we're able to screw. Let me, really should get a little knife for this, but this Phillips bit will work lovely. Just want to make sure these are clean, so our top boards don't pop up. Okay. The one that is cragged goes in the front. Got to make sure we have a lot of glue. The glue and the brads hold these boards perfectly, especially if you make sure the dado or the channel here is cleaned out. There we go. This will sit in there just like that. The reason we don't screw these is sometimes it likes to pop the plies of the plywood with the screw, and then you have problems with countertops. So I quit doing that, and I just switched to 1 1/4 brad nails. You do have to be careful. The 1.25" brads. Obviously that you're shooting straight so the nail doesn't pop well up or below, which they can. And I have the depth set correctly so it doesn't just blow through the material. It's actually holding the board. But with a lot of glue, with the dado, and a million brad nails, these hold wonderfully. And they're not really there for the support of the counter, quite honestly. That is being transferred down through the solid plywood into the floor. These boards are mostly just here for squaring the cabinet up. They help us when we bring the cabinet in by giving us a place to hold. They square the cabinet up, and they do provide a little bit of support for the counter, but that's not the main thing that's holding the counter. So that's why the brads, the glue, the dado work wonderfully. Now, this one can be a little more tricky because there's no back piece. There's no back dado. There's just two sides. So I'm going to load this up with glue. Wipe it like this so no glue goes into our cabinet. The Craigs come out like that. Then I need to make sure my offset right here is the same as down there. It's way down there. So that looks about correct. And then we just brad nail. About 1,000,000 times. About, I don't know, 7 times. Then again, make sure my offset up front here is the same as over there and every other corner. Because we'll cut a dado into our face frame. And we want the dado of the face frame to hit this, and then the other part of the face frame to hit this, all at the same time. So everything is square, everything is touching, everything is uniform, the glue will hold, the dado will lock in, and the screws will grip it and make sure everything is even for our depths. So this cabinet is completed. I need to double check it, label it, and then I have to do the same process I just did right there to cabinet number 2, to cabinet number 3. These cabinets will be finished, and then I can start working on all of those cabinets by double checking the measurements. We have the shelves made. They're at the other facility. Probably need to go grab those at some point, maybe today or tomorrow. I need to finish the one super custom lower blind corner cabinet. Double check all the shelf holes that I drilled. Double check all the widths and measurements, everything. I need to put skins on. I need to measure doors. I need to do an order for hinges, slides, everything like that. We need to install the drawer boxes. There's a million things I need to do for that order. So finish up here, move to there. I have all 3 of these lower cabinets put together. They're all labeled, measured, double checked, good to go. I'm going to set these to the side. And my next task is I'm going to start going through these cabinets, double checking them, double check the shelf holes, measurements, height, width, depth, making sure everything looks good. And then I may start putting the skins on these, I think is what I'm going to do. I need to think about that, but I think that's what I'm going to do next. And then I need to finish building that cabinet right there. Our order just came in from one of our distributors, so I may also start finishing that cabinet right over there. I think that's what I'm actually going to do next, so I can check that off the list, and then I'll start working on these. I opened up all of our packages, sorted everything, put a bunch of stuff away. Now I'm working on screwing in these clips to these boxes. Instead of pre-drilling these screws, I'm running them in reverse. Then I'm slowly screwing them in. Always seems to work out well. And it saves a little bit of time. So, these are the different clips I was talking about yesterday. You have to use these for narrow drawer boxes. They work really well. And it's essentially the same thing that we always use. There just is less adjustments. There's only a height adjustment on these. That's fine. And that's how they work. They pull out the same. They're still full extension. All of our boxes are dovetailed, as you can see. They look really good. And then soft close back in. Same thing with both of them. Pull out, full extension, 5/8 inch maple. 1/4-inch bottoms. It can hold 100 pounds, fully extended. Soft close, super durable. Now I need to pull these fronts out of there. Get the tip kit hinges on that came in. Tip kit hinges on, drawer fronts, make sure the doors are level. Wipe this whole cabinet because it's super dusty. And then the other facility, forgot to grab this morning, but I'll have to do that later maybe. I need to put that piece of toe kick on, finished toe kick. Grab the shoe molding. The client will put on his own shoe molding, but we still made some for him. And then this cabinet will be ready to go. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we can start working on all of those cabinets. I got these drawer boxes in. So this cabinet right here, the holes drilled out, screws in there, tip kit hinges in. I'm waiting for Brandon to come back because he has a double-sided tape, so I'm able to mount these drawer fronts onto these drawer boxes, open them up, screw them in from the back side, and then I can put on that front. So I'm waiting for him. He's doing good. They're almost done over there tearing out, which is awesome. And Jacob's doing really good spraying. I've started putting on our bottom skins onto these cabinets to hide all of the Craig jigs. I'm missing a few, so I need to cut some. I think this one is about ready to be put on. We use contact cement for this. Holds really well. There's Brandon, he's just pulling up right now. So once I get this one on, I'm going to help him unload because he's going to put on 7 stain doors for the refacing job in that bathroom vanity that I measured for a week ago. Carl went to go pick up those doors. So this is almost on. I just want to make sure that it is on perfect. Feels good, looks good. So transfer this out of the way over here. I'm going to help Brandon unload. There's a lot of cabinets, so it's probably completely full in here. We're going to throw all this out and load him back up. Well, this thing's chock full. We're going to unload this. We'll keep going. Brandon got back. We unloaded all the cabinets and we loaded him back up to put on those 7 stain doors that we made this week and last week. So now my plan is wipe this cabinet, start putting on these 3 drawer fronts, make sure everything's level, everything's working, double check a bunch of stuff, put on the toe kick, touch up the brad nails, and then this cabinet should be ready to go. So I'm going to start by putting on the 2 drawer fronts, and then I'll do the middle front and go from there. So I just double checked my door height from the top of the door height to the top of the cabinet here. It's 7.5 because our fronts are 6.5. That'll leave a 1/2 inch gap on each side. These are super dusty, but that's fine. We'll dust them off in a minute. I have my double-sided tape on right here. I have my clips pushed all the way to the bottom. What I typically do, I could make, but I don't have right now. It's in the van, so I put a 1/2 inch spacer right there, but I'm going to eyeball it, as that usually works out pretty decent. I'm going to stick it right there like that, lining up side of the drawer front here with the door. These are super dusty, and that should leave me with exactly a 1/2 inch up top, which is perfect. That drawer front's on, and I'm going to do the same thing with this drawer front here. Take off the double-sided tape, just like this. Make sure our clips are all the way at the bottom. Line this up here with the side of our door. Stick that on there. It looks pretty decent. That side's perfect. That side's perfect. I'm lined up here and I'm lined up here. And then once I get those in, I'll put this fake front on. What I'm going to do here to put these fronts on that's why the double side tape's important. It sets the front on, it holds it on there until I can get a screw in here. Typically, I'll use my specialty Milwaukee drill, but those are in all the vans right now. So I don't have those. Impact will work fine. the longer square bit, use 1.25 inches. And then it's on there like that. That looks pretty darn good. And I did one in each corner. I don't know if you can see that, one in each corner, because I found out if you put them in both sides, it'll suck the front and throw the front out of alignment with the doors. So you need to put one in each corner so it'll counteract that. And then once you've double checked it, you can go back through and finish the rest of the holes off. Because essentially what I'm doing, because I'm at an angle, it's going to suck it this way. If I go this way, it's going to suck it that way a hair. So by doing one in each corner here, it counteracts that. You're putting slab fronts on, you don't have to worry about that because you're going straight through. You're screwing in straight. But on these, you have to screw at an angle because of the recessed panel. So that looks pretty darn good there. It's a little bit off, but I can fix that here in a minute. So now I'm just gonna keep screwing those off, the rest of my screws, and I'll start working on that middle drawer. I got the toe kick on down there. All of the doors and drawer fronts are level. They're all soft close. Doors, drawer fronts, or drawer boxes are all soft close, full extension. Tip kit hinges are in. So the last thing we need to do here is we need to drill the handles. I think they're coming in tomorrow. Touch this up, or there's no real touch up, but like down on the toe kick, we need a putty, touch the holes up that I made by brad nailing. Just make sure it looks perfect. Wipe this cabinet down. This cabinet will be ready to go. Looks really good though. Looks really good. Functions really good. Thick drawer boxes, clear coated 3 times. Maple, everything's super high quality. Applied panel. It's going to be a really nice vanity for this client. So now I'm going to just keep on making sure that these cabinets are correct. Put on the bottom skins, double check all the uppers, and then probably start side skinning all these uppers. It's quite a bit to do, so I'm just going to start at the beginning and work my way to the end. I've been working on these upper cabinets. I have the skins on the side panels. I noticed that this fridge cabinet right here, we're missing a side panel, so I recut that. I made a whole list of everything we need to complete for this job. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's go start working on the lower skins. So I have this lower cabinet set, how the skin will go. I have my skin perfectly aligned with the top of the cabinet. Now all I'm going to do is trace out, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to trace out this toe kick. And right there is where I will cut my cut line. Take it over here, put it on the carpeting so nothing gets scratched, and I will simply use my jigsaw here, cut that toe kick out, and then I'm able to glue or contact cement that, or this panel on. I like this jigsaw a lot. It has a blower, keeps your line nice and clean. It's an M12, so it's small. We run pretty much all M12s around here. They're the best. They have plenty of power. Definitely long enough battery life, and they're small. They don't ding up cabinets or do crazy things. So now we'll take this panel back over here. We'll just make sure that I have it correct before we get that contact cement on. That looks perfect. So that'll work well. Now I'll get my contact adhesive out, spray both sides, let it dry up for a minute or two, and press it on. This panel will be done. And then I just have, well, I have 3 more lowers, and then there's pantry ones and such, but we're making headway. My contact adhesive just tack up for about 2 minutes, both sides. I want to show you, this is a sink base. This is where we use those plastic clips, so that way our normal boards are not in the way of our countertop installers who install our countertop and have to cut out those braces, and it's just a pain in the butt because you can't access them. Once the skins are on, you can't access the screws, so you have to multi-tool it out, and it's a mess. So we just put those in this cabinet, but the rest of our lowers all have these boards. Connect the face frame, square the cabinet up, super sturdy. So this is the only cabinet we do that, and that is to simply help our countertop guys. That's tacking up really nice. May let that sit for another minute or so, start working on my next cabinets. Let the contact adhesive dry an extra minute or so. So now I'm just going to simply line this skin up with the top of the cabinet. That's the most important. Both sides are important, but the top is the most important. And then once you stick this, it's stuck. So you have to make sure you're correct the first time. You don't get a second chance with this. I'm going to pound it down, work it all the way around. I've kind of learned that you don't need a lot of this, but you do need to make sure that you let it tack up. Otherwise, it doesn't work properly. We use a 3M90, the super max strength. It works really well. We're a custom shop. We want to kind of mass produce in a way. We want to make custom cabinets at an affordable price that are nice, but accessible to everybody. So we've been thinking of ways to be able to do that. This is one way with this contact adhesive. Instead of brad nailing and puttying, it would take way too long. And I mean way too long. And with paint, you can't do that. The paint looks terrible if you do that. So this is a custom way to make it look super nice. It's not too difficult, but it's not just thermofoil either. It's actual plywood, so it'll hold up well. This cabinet's completed. I'm going to do that cabinet next, the trash cabinet, and then this cabinet. And once that's completed, I may start putting in the floors. I need a floor right here, and I need a floor right up here, because there's 2 doors up there, there's an oven right there, and then there's a drawer and 2 doors. So I need to separate all that. But I'm going to move this, get that cabinet going, and then start those 2. Now I have this pantry floor skinned out, looking really nice. I do have to put the skins on the sides, but I'll do that in a little while here. I think that's going to pretty much do it for today, though. I'm going to be here a while longer working, but I'm going to end the video, put these skins on. Tomorrow I need to finish this cabinet, or maybe tonight. I'm waiting for that filler piece for this cabinet. That's our whole list. Go through. I've crossed quite a bit of it off. Jacob got back from spraying. He said it went well. Drill those handles tomorrow. Drop that off, hopefully. Start installing drawer boxes on these cabinets. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, subscribe, and comment. Check out our website, and we'll see you tomorrow. Adios.